I had an accident.
No, I'm gonna go this side, go to left side.
Oh, the centimeter plus.
So I'm gonna spend all four.
Oh, yeah, real funny.
Actually, you receive this one.
But corny. I told you a story.
So in SAT that there is a okay. Okay. In SAT the so related rate you have to know all is recording or not?
Oh, it wasn't
Yeah.
recording?
Okay.
Oh, no.
What did you say?
I said something.
Might need to cut that beginning
Cut
part
that
out.
part out. Just literally cut it out.
Just
cut it
stop
out.
I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What were you guys talking about? I need to hear it.
There's a minute.
It was an accident.
Wait, what is?
Oh my god.
No, we gotta go back to watch it.
No, bro. No. It's not even that important. It's not even that important.
Okay.
Is it about?
Alright, so
Politics.
Is it about a beat?
Donald Trump.
okay, so now let's talk about area. So what kind of area that you have to cover? Area of a square, so that's easy.
Anyway.
Area of square area is equal to side times side, so which is side square. So this is a very easy concept. But sometimes they will ask you like something like if it's SAT, sometimes they ask like, you know, what will be the, sometimes they ask like what is the, like the area of the circle, if I give you a 10. So they will say, what's the area of a circle? Thanks. Or if I give an area of a circle, and now I ask you what's the area of a square. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what is that example? If I says area of the square is 100, what is the area of a circle?
I forgot the formula.
What did it be?
25.
Senpai?
It's what?
25.
It's 25 pi. So if I say area of a circle is like 100, area of a square is 100, so the size is gonna be what? 10. But this one is gonna be 5, right? So 5 times 5 is 25 pi. So that's a way that SAT gonna ask you. It's gonna apply two concepts into one. But in terms of the calculus goes, that area is equal to s squared. That's probably a very, very easy concept. Okay, but they will mix in two concepts into one questions. So
How do you do it with the circle?
so area of, how to spell equilateral? Equilateral triangle.
That's a diagonal.
Now, this one might not show up on SAT, but this one is very important to know because the breakdown of this one is very, very important. Equilateral triangle, so for example, if I have a triangle like this, and this is a S, S, S. Now, if they all have the same side, that imply they are equilateral. Equilateral also equal angular. Equal angular, that means everyone is 60 degrees, right? So if this is a 60, if this is a 60, if this is 60, I can use this and the two other concepts to find out the area of an equilateral triangle. Here's the first concept you need to know. It's called special right triangle. So those are the two things that's on SAT, so special right triangle.
30, 60, 90 stuff.
Well, first one is this one. As I'm covering
45, 90.
exactly. I'm covering a lot of things that can help you 2 days later. You say you want to get national merit, but you're not paying attention like a national merit. Sorry.
He's talking to me.
Yeah, my bad.
So if this one is special right triangle, so this one, this ratio I will remember by heart. This one's x, and this one's x, and this one's square root 2x. That's just me. But it's also on the first page of SAT. If you don't remember it, you can always go back and look it up. But for me, I memorize it because you flip back and flip forward, you lose 30 seconds. You lose maybe one question. So the second one is going to be what? The 30, 60, 90. So it's going to be 30, 60, 90. Okay, so 30, 60, 90. The ratio you have to memorize, this one is facing the x. This one's facing the square root 3x. And this one's 2x. Okay, you have to know this ratio for sure because this special right triangle will show up on the SAT. It's not going to be relevant to what we're going to do in related rate, but it's something that's important. Okay, so we're going to do two things at once. So what happened is, how do I use this to find out the area of an equilateral triangle? We know area is what? 1/2 base times height, right? So we know the base is going to be 1/2 times s. In this case, well, we just had to find out the h. Okay, so once I'm going to break down the 60 degree, I'm going to break down to draw a perpendicular bisector. And if this is a 90 degree, must be what? 30 degree. So if this is s, this must be s over 2. Would you say? But if you look at it, the 30 degree is facing the x. Okay, the 60 degrees must facing the what? Square root 3x. But in this case, the x is s over 2, so that makes this one what?
Rad 3s over 2.
So s square root 3 over 2. Does that make sense? Because this is s over 2, so s over 2 times square root 3. That's going to get you a height. So this is the height, so times the height is what? S square root 3 over 2. So therefore, it comes down to square root 3 over 4 s squared. Now, is this on SAT? Not likely. But it's on related rate? Possibly. Okay, but by knowing this two ratio, I would get area of an equilateral triangle, which is pretty important. Now, is this one always show on one test? Yeah. Okay, you're not gonna avoid any question without it. Now, can this question be rewrite in a lot of different ways? Yes, they can. We're gonna show you what a simple question look like for us a special right triangle. Simple questions. Okay, simple question. It could be like, okay, just say this side is we got 45, and we got 45, and we got 90, and this is a isosceles right, and if this side is 10, what will be x? No.
5 squared is 2. No. 10. Wait, hold on. I need math.
50.
Oh, you guys will fail math.
No, I'm not. Shut up. You don't fix it.
Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Come on, this is a very simple
No,
question.
hold up.
10 divided by square root.
Thank you. Somebody's thinking, because this is the hypotenuse. This is the hypotenuse, right? Hypotenuse is equal to what? 10 is equal to square root 2 times x. Therefore, x equal to 10 over square root
Oh, I'm
2.
looking for x. That makes sense.
But it's not on the answer choice, however. What was on the answer choice?
10 radical 2.
You have to rationalize it,
10
right?
radical 2
over
So it'll be 10 square root 2 over 2.
Is
So
it
it'll be
fine?
5
Wait, so you
square
said
root.
that. Did it not say that? Jesus Christ.
You said that.
I just simplified it.
You said 5.
Square root 2.
I didn't say square root 2. I didn't hear it.
It's like a 1.
Okay, so the same idea, you just apply the ratio and see how it works. Question about this part. So this is a simple question for SAT, however, that's not related rate though. Okay, so question about this part, the next thing is gonna be, okay, what is a Pythagoras, when in a right triangle, there are two type of, this is called special right triangle, this is a big deal. Okay, this is a big deal. There is a called Pythagorean triplet, so Pythagorean triplet.
I got no more.
There are two types of Pythagorean triplets that's mostly common, but on SAT they like 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5 triangle. So this is a 3, 4, 5 triangle. 3, 4, and 5. Because 3 squared plus 4 squared equal to 5 squared. But they can be also multiple of that. So it could be 6, 8, 10. Okay, it could be 6, 8, 10. So it could be like this. It's a 6, 8, 10. 6 squared plus 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. So those are the Pythagorean triplets. That's the two common one on SAT. ACT, however, is different. ACT kind of put another one in. Seriously?
My bad. I drink it all at once.
You can drink it without breaking the water bottle, right?
Yes.
Okay. So 5, 12, 13. So this another one is a 5, 12, 13. So it's going to be 5, 12, 13. ACT like this one. SAT prefer those two. Sometimes you get an extreme one. It's going to be look like this. It's going to be 7, 24, and 25. That is another Pythagorean triplet. So there are few Pythagorean triplets that always come and happen. So you don't need to do calculation. If you see 6, 10, automatically the other side is going to be 8 if it's a right triangle. Question about this part. Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equal to c squared. This happens all the time. This happened in AP Calculus too. We're going to use this one a lot. So it's AP Calculus, especially the one with the ladder problem, or the two boat is traveling two different directions, or SAT. This happens all the time. A squared plus b squared equal to c squared. You gotta make sure c squared is the hypotenuse, and this two side is the side that's according to the triangle. And it has to be a right triangle in order to use Pythagorean triplets. Okay, we're gonna talk about area of a circle. Is equal to pi r squared. Most of you guys don't know pi r squared.
Oh. That makes sense.
It's a one third grade student told me how to do it. I thought it was pretty cool. Now the perimeter, which is circumference. What is the circumference?
2 pi.
2 pi r.
2 pi d or 2 pi r?
Okay, I know you guys have a hard time with this. Just take a derivative of this.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
2 pi r. Fun.
Well, if you don't know how to take a derivative, hopefully, right?
No.
Wait, that makes sense.
It makes sense. Though. Yeah, it does make sense.
No, like.
I had no idea that derivatives
Oh, like
were
a
all
natural
over.
math.
Oh, also it could be 2r is equal to d, so it could be d pi.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Okay?
Then what you see?
Question about this part.
What does d pi, like, what does that mean?
Diameter.
Pi.
D stands for diameter, d equal to 2r. So, okay, area of a trapezoid.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One half base on
I know.
one half base 1 plus base 2.
For most of you guys have a hard time to memorize is it give you a right trapezoid. If I give you a right trapezoid, it should be looking like this.
So split it up into a triangle.
Okay? And this part is here, so this is a base 1.
We just need to cut it off.
This is a base 2, right? But technically, you average your base 1 and base 2. It's actually area of a rectangle if you think about it. If I cut it to this is the midpoint right here, and if I cut it right here, and if I cut it right here. So this place is gonna go here, it becomes an area of a rectangle. The area of rectangle is 1/2 is the base times height, which is the base is gonna be the average of B1 and B2. So it's gonna be B1 plus B2 times by height. So that is equal to area of 1/2 base 1 plus base 2, which is the average of 2 base multiplied by height, which is base times height, which is area of rectangle, but it's in terms of trapezoid.
Why do you divide it by 2?
because of the average, because you want to take, you don't want to take this length, you want to take this length, you want to take it between those two, so you make it average. So this part can cut off, go to here, so it's exactly a rectangle.
So it only applies.
Can it just be divided by two?
Question about this part?
So Mr. It only applies when it's a right trapezoid.
Oh no, it applies to any type of trapezoid.
Okay.
I just give you a right trapezoid as the case. But if any other type of trapezoid, it's fine. But the trapezoid must have one condition. These two lines must be parallel to each other. Okay, so I'm going to show you if the isosceles trapezoid, I know you guys seen it before. The average two base is going to be right here. So this piece go here, this piece go here. So this is a base 1, this is a base 2. So average is going to be this length, right? So it's going to be base times height. So 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the h. Why did I go over this one? Because later we're going to learn something called trapezoid rule. Okay, something very, very important for calculus. So you have to know this. The base, by then the trapezoid stand like this. It's a sideway. Okay, and it's a right trapezoid. You got to make sure you know that later for trapezoid rule. So for calculus, that's a big deal. Question about this part.
So it's like a constant slope.
Okay. What other one is on SAT? On SAT, there is something that you need to know is how do you find the area of a sector? So area of sector. How does that represent? The area of a sector roughly look like this. If this part is 72 degrees, and what will be this area right here? So area of a sector is equal to the percentage of a circle times by pi r squared. If you think about it, percentage of circle, that times by pi r squared. Pi r squared is what? Area of a circle, right? So this question happened a lot. Area of sector, that means percentage of circle multiplied by pi r squared.
Like just the decimal.
Yeah, so in this case it will be what? How do I find the percentage of a circle though? Well,
72 over
basically 72 over 360. That's a percentage of a circle times pi r squared.
Yeah.
Why is that? Just think about it. A circle is 360 slices of pizza. If you eat 72 pieces slice of pizza, that's roughly 72 out of 360. That's a percentage. Okay? So with same theory can apply, what if I want to find the arc length, which is in black? So arc length. Is equal to percentage of circle multiplied by what? Which is the circumference.
Makes sense.
Which is percentage multiplied by that. Which is percentage you had to get it from the central angle. Question about this part.
So would it still just be 72 over 360?
Times 2 by r. Okay, so there's an easier way to do it. Now calculus has different way. Pre-calculus has different way to do it. The pre-calculus is using s equal to r theta, but the theta has to be in radian. Okay, so in pre-calculus we actually cover this thing is s equal to r theta, but the theta has to be in radian, which has to be, in this case will be
72 180.
so 72 over 180, good, pi, multiplied by that. So that's also another way, but for me, if I don't memorize anything, percentage of circle minus is 2 pi r, that's great. Got it? Okay, so this is okay, can I erase?
No.
We're gonna talk about two other things that, a simple question that's related to everything. Yesterday I was tutoring, I'm gonna be honest with you, I make more money outside of school.
We know, that's why you don't care if you get
Give the
fired.
other spot
Yeah.
more.
So, yesterday I was tutoring somebody for roughly $60 an hour. Okay, that's a minute a dollar. Huh? 2 hours, and this afternoon I have 2 people with 4 hours. So 60 times 40 is 240. The school paid me roughly like 180. Like very minimum compared to what I get paid outside. And I only need to spend 4 hours. I don't have to grade any paper. I don't have to drink vodka when I grade your paper, so it's plenty.
I told you, he was on that topic.
So, what would be the question that relate to all the things that we just talked about? If I have this circle right here, and I have this triangle here, I have a 30. Okay, and I want to find this minor arc. I was tutoring somebody about this question. And this is a 90 degrees, and there's a tangent line. By the way, this tangent line, you get the tangent line? Tangent line, see, this is coming very effective. And they say, hey, if this one is 10 square root of 3, what will be the arc length of Tm? So find the arc length of Tm, or actually minor arc. This is a major arc, this is a minor arc. Tm, and they say, hey, can you find this?
Possibly. 30.
It's 30?
Oh.
Okay, so it kind of relates to all the things that we kind of teach here and kind of think about what it's going to be. So it's kind of related to a couple different concepts. Remember, SAT is not going to say, okay, what is the area of a square? Or what is the area of a circle? They're going to imply the two knowledge into one. And those two knowledge, here is, think about what is this knowledge here. So some students are able to find out the answer very, very shortly in the fifth period. So they can say, oh yeah, the answer is this. But if you understand all the things that we just teach, this question is fairly easy. Okay, so this is a simple question. You can more welcome to think about it.
I got 1/3.
Yep, there it goes your national merit. Huh? You definitely not getting national merit. Sorry. Find the arc length, which is the length here.
Oh, it's, okay.
You don't understand the question.
10/6. 5.
Very close, but it's not it.
Oh, 5/3.
No. You just got colder.
Oh. I got
10 pi over 3, I think is right.
25/6.
Good job, Anna.
Yeah.
I did that all. 25/6 is done.
Huh?
No problem. I did that all in my head. I didn't use paper. I still got the wrong answer, but.
So it doesn't matter. I'd rather use paper and get a right answer.
I didn't get it right, but I didn't use paper. Sorry.
Okay, so you guys can figure out that you're more welcome to think about this question. It's a very special question. I think I tutored yesterday, and it was a pretty cool question. So I may erase this part, okay? You guys more welcome to take a picture of this question. The answer is 20 pi over 3. Oh no, sorry, 10 pi over 3. Alright. Volume of a cube. You guys need to know this. This is a cube. Okay, so most of you guys don't know how to do a cube. Kind of sad. Volume equal to S times S times S, so be S cubed. Now, you have to know more than that. The surface area is going to be 6 square, 6S squared. There's a 6 side on the dice. A dice is a cube, so it'll be 6 times S squared. Volume of sphere. Now you have to know this for the calculus and as well as for SAT. So this is a sphere, by the way. Right. Cannot draw like a very sphere. So volume is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed.
Did they give us that on the?
Yeah, they do.
They did.
They give sphere? I don't think they give sphere.
Don't they give you everything?
No.
No?
Not necessary. I don't know if they give sphere.
Um,
But I won't give you to unrelated rate, so you better memorize it. Volume equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay? But surface area, you're gonna have a hard time memorizing. You know what? The same theory applied to here. Take a derivative, exactly.
I got you, I got you.
If I take a derivative of this,
You get it.
it's what?
4 pi r squared.
4 pi r squared. Good. Because r, put the 3 to the front, 3 cancel, r squared. So 4 pi r squared. That's very, very easy formula.
Why does that work?
Thank you.
Yeah. So it's nice, right? Cylinder, I don't think they give you this question anymore, but the cylinder is a very, the cylinder is a, they don't usually give out this question, but if a cylinder is like this, okay, so a cylinder basically, just think about quarter. The area of a quarter multiplied by 10 quarter is gonna be a cylinder. Does that make sense? So if this is a quarter, so area, the value is gonna be pi r squared times how many quarter they are is h. Okay? So that's a volume of a cone. Oh, sorry, volume
Cylinder.
of a cylinder. I don't know if it's still cylinder.
You can see why.
There you go.
Okay, so volume of cylinder. Now, the surface area of a cylinder, sometimes they test on SAT, not too much, but it's very easy. If I cut the cylinder, this is a cylinder right here, right? Well, hopefully, if I know how to roll paper. So that's a cylinder, right?
Yeah.
So cylinder, if you open up, it's a rectangle. A rectangle, this part is the circumference of the circle. Here is the height of the circle. So if I just want to find the lateral part of it, is 2 pi r times h, because that is the rectangle part. So 2 pi r and h plus 2 pi r squared, which is the circle part. This is the cylinder. So the area of the cylinder.
Oh.
It just breaks down to pieces. Then you don't have to memorize it. For me, I don't memorize nothing.
Wait.
Wait, can you say that again?
This way.
If I cut off the cylinder, so you take a soda can, cut out the top, cut out the bottom, cut it open, widen it, it's gonna be a rectangle, right? And the top part of the length is the circumference of the circle, so it'll be 2 pi r. The height is gonna be h. So if you find the lateral face, it's gonna be 2 pi r squared times h. This one is gonna be pi r squared for the top, bottom circle, so it'll be pi r squared times 2. So therefore 2 pi r squared, so I draw it out, pi r squared. Got it? Okay. It turns out, if this is the same height, right? So this, if I have this one, is the same thing. Which area is bigger? Well, which volume is bigger?
No, the second
Confusion.
That's just the same.
But isn't it?
second one, I think.
I think.
Which type?
It turns out they are the same.
Yo.
It's called oblique cylinder. Now they don't test that, but in geometry you do. And just think about quarter, right?
It's the same thing,
If you
right?
take a quarter and you stack up, right, and you lengthen it a little bit, that's exactly the same volume as a quarter. It doesn't matter how much you change, it's gonna exactly the same. So this oblique is gonna be the same thing. They don't test on SAT, but just kind of extra information for you guys to know. You know that part. Okay, now how do I remember this cone, volume of a cone? So volume of a cone's right here. So volume of a cone. So the nice thing is, if you have a cylinder, we know it's a pi r squared times h, right? So if I have a cone within the cylinder, let's roughly take it 1/3 and 1/3 and 1/3. So therefore, volume of a cone is going to be 1/3 pi r squared h. You don't need to worry about surface area of a cone because of that we're not going to test. But you have to know inside a cone has something. Okay? Has what thing? We're going to talk about that. We haven't get there yet.
That's cosecant.
So volume of cone.
You did it surface
We don't need to do surface area because that's not important. The lateral is kind of hard to remember, which is I don't.
So you don't want to.
That's something.
Okay, we're gonna talk about, so we talk about all the volume, all the possible shapes. You don't need to worry about ellipse and all that, but this is all the things that can be related. So when I taught geometry, the geometry class I give, like there was a chapter test, and I spent 1 day to cover the whole chapter, and I says, hey, can you find the volume and surface area of the shape?
Just do it all together. Fine.
You need the height.
We do height.
And I say, hey, can you find the volume and surface area of the shape? And we spend whole period talk about it, done, chapter 10 is finished.
Yeah, it's not mine.
It's a half circle, it's a cylinder,
It's half a sphere.
but there's something tricky there.
You don't have to pi, right?
You should have enough information to find volume of this, and then find surface area.
You said volume?
What are you trying to find?
Wait, volume and surface area. Find the volume of the half sphere and then find surface area.
So that was in my my geometry class. We just spent 1 day. We knock out chapter 10 out, this out, and that's pretty much. But in SAT they ask like this way, or they ask like this way. So they cover this part up, or they cover this part. They don't give you both because it takes too long to do questions. The lateral face, the surface area is a little bit harder, so you have to remember the lateral surface area. But there's a reason why I don't give you the height of the cylinder or the cone. Yes.
Because Pythagorean triplets.
Yeah, Pythagorean triplet can imply this one is automatic 6.
That's not drawn.
Yeah, because it's not drawn by scale. It doesn't have to draw by scale. However, I kind of
Bro, that's how I
Get
got
off
the
the
question,
screen.
right?
You have to understand, if SAT, everything's had to draw by scale. If it doesn't draw by scale, they have to write on the bottom, say it's not draw by scale. So technically, you can estimate everything and be really smart by a pencil with a ruler on it.
Straight up check.
Not cheating. No, just kidding. That won't be allowed, right? So technically, I just find a new way to cheat on SAT. But now, as a, you can actually do that, and you can even find a pencil with a compass on it. No, just kidding.
No,
I'm having
never
a hard
that.
time doing 64 times 6.
I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You're gonna get yourself disqualified.
54 times
And you're gonna get me quick fired too.
500.
Then why do you say it all night?
I think.
I'll
Okay,
take your word for it.
so that's the area of value. But when we talk about triangle, I want to add one more thing: is triangle inequality.
Am I right?
Triangle inequality. What is that? Well, triangle inequality says if you have two sides of the length of a triangle, what is the third side length in order to form a triangle? So if I have says AB is equal to 12, and BC is equal to I think 17, and you're gonna say what is AC can possibly be to form a triangle? To form a triangle,
29.
okay? So this kind of question is very easy. Imagine this is, am I recording?
Yeah.
You're live.
Am I here, all the way here?
You're just chilling.
Okay, so triangle inequality. Imagine that if you have AB is, BC is 17. It's much longer, right? Imagine that this is 12. So how do I form a triangle? Can I form a triangle if they're exactly next to each other?
No.
No. But if I raise one by 1 degree, can I form a triangle?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So it has to be a little bit less of the combination of those two, which is 29. So anything between 29 is okay. Yeah. Okay, anything after 29 is okay. Okay? So anything, now imagine if this is 12 all the way to the other side. Can I form a triangle?
No.
No, but if I raise 1 degree,
Yes.
I can form a triangle. So the length has to be between what?
5 and 29.
5
Not
less
including,
than
right?
x less than 29. So this is the difference of two lengths is 5. This is the sum of two lengths 29. So anything between is going to be proper answer. But this question will be harder on a multiple choice because the multiple choice they give you 4 choice. Which one cannot be a triangle?
5, 29, 7, 8.
Well, you just have to take the two shorter lengths and add them together and subtract them together and see
So
the
it
first
can't
side.
be equal either.
No.
It cannot be equal,
It's gonna
right?
be a straight line.
Because 29 is going to be a straight line. If you like this, it's going to be completely straight line. So those are triangles. Okay. Can you move the camera?
Sarah.
Alright, thank you.
Sure they
Triangle,
wanna be-
there's two sides, two similar triangle that you can have to be. The similar notation is gonna look like this. So here is we're gonna have a triangle. Usually, this one is gonna be pretty popular. You're gonna see this in calculus a lot. Like this. And it's like this. So you're gonna have this. No, this is actually very easy. A lot of you guys says, oh, this is super difficult, but they are super easy. There are two types of shape in general shape in SAT. This is the first type of talking about similar triangle. This is very awkwardly easy. We're gonna say this is a X, and this is a Y, and this is a A from here, and this is a B all the way from here, and it's the whole thing. So you gotta make sure, since this angle, this triangle has this angle, this triangle has this angle, and since they are parallel, so therefore this angle and this angle are the same. If they are the same, that means those two angles and the big triangle are exactly similar because all angles are exactly the same. All angles are exactly the same, they're not congruent, but they are similar. Similar can create a ratio, and ratio is following. So the height and the base is equal to the big height over the total. So this is a very important ratio that for you to understand. It's called similar triangle. We're going to talk about this one, about shadow problem and related rate. We're going to talk about a man is walking away from a lamppost, create a shadow, and if you walk away at a speed of 2 feet per second, how fast the shadow is growing, and how fast the tip of the shadow is growing. They're completely different things. So we're going to come back and talk about this in more detail. So that's why I'm building all those things for you. Okay? Questions? Similar triangle can show up the different way too. So this is a different simple question I found yesterday. It was pretty cool. Simple questions. It looks like this. It's a two parallel line. And one's bigger than the one that's smaller. Sorry, I'm going to do it here. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. And this is exactly 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees. And this is going to be 6. This is going to be 10. And this is going to be 610. And this is 300. And we want to find this length. And those two things are parallel to each other. So basically, I have this question. I was tutoring somebody this question. And I thought it was really cool because student had a hard time with those questions. He looked at it for a long time. He said, I don't know how to do it. Oh, he got an answer, but the answer is not in the choice. So remember, every time SAT is a combination of all different things. Okay, so, and you can think about this question. It's going to be A, B, C, D, E. Okay, you're going to talk about all those things here. And then you say, okay, well, which one could it be A, B? Okay. Huh? No, you got it wrong. Let me see anything I didn't cover. Okay. Now within the similar triangle here, with a cone, we talk about there's something in the cone. So just imagine if I fill in the cone. Imagine you eating a ice cream with the cone shape, and they are melted, right? And we know the ratio of the cone. The ratio of a cone is gonna be this side is 15, right? And this side is 10, and this side is 5. What is this side here? We're gonna say small r, R1. What will be R1 is? Basically, if you tilt it, it's gonna be the same triangle. The R1 is gonna be roughly 7.5 because that's a similar triangle within the cone. You are gonna find a similar triangle within the cone. SOHCAHTOA. Only at related rate. You have to know sin theta equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and make sure all the denominator is a constant. We're going to talk about why that's important. The denominator, the hypotenuse adjacent, make sure they are constant in terms of related rate. It's going to help you solve the problem much easier. Okay, much easier. So SOHCAHTOA is only related rate and looking for how fast the angle changing. How fast the angle is changing. Okay, look at how fast the angle is changing. Now, do you guys find those things? It's 3-digit number. Add together is be 15. You got it? No.
Are you gonna do it or?
Huh? It's 3-digit number add up to be 15.
Let me think.
437.
No.
Five
There's a lot of combination to add up to be 15.
You have to do calculus for that, right?
Nope, you don't use calculator.
Is that 537?
No. But you got all three numbers correctly, just different orders.
Oh.
357.
375 is correct. But do you know how to get there?
Yeah, can you tell me how to get that then?
Okay, sure. Come here, I'll help you. So, first of all, knowing this is a vertical angle, right?
Okay.
That
And
last
you know
one's
this is a parallel line.
308, and then
Shut up, Sam.
You know there's a parallel line. So this is the first angle. The first angle, the notation is going to be the first angle that's congruent is going to be right here.
Okay.
Okay. The second angle is congruent. It's automatic on SAT question. Is this called? What kind of angle is called?
I knew it.
Alternative interior angle. They are always congruent in the parallel line. This is called transverse line. This line is same thing. Now this angle has to be the same because it's called third angle theorem. Because if the two angles are the same, the third angle has to be the same. So therefore, ABC triangle must be similar to triangle ABC. What do you think the answer is going to be? Would be similar to what?
CD.
Nope.
Is that a G or
No, wait.
AD? Or no?
Has to be similar to. Is it
EDC.
EDC.
So therefore, AB is over ED is a ratio is equal to BC over DC is equal to what?
Over 8.
300
over.
What is it?
X over
300 over
10.
8.
AC.
CA, right? CA and the what? DC, right?
Wait, how'd you get there?
So that's just a ratio that I set up because of the congruent parts.
Okay. Wait.
Now, because they are inverted, they are similar triangle, but they're inverted the other way. Okay, so now, with that being known, is you can know this, you can say, okay, well, we got BC here,
Right.
and then we got, the problem is we got BC, do we have a DC?
Yeah.
Nope,
That's 8.
it's 8.
Well, wait.
Because why is 8?
Because that one was a right triangle.
Yes, that's a right triangle, right?
It's one of
So
those
6, 10, this is
triplets.
8. So it'll be what?
So what you
So the ratio is gonna be 300 over 8 is equal to
X.
10.
No, X over 10.
X over 10, okay, X over 10. Yep, so then it'll be 3,000
Divided by 8.
over 8, which is roughly 1,500 over 4, 750 over 2, which is 375. 3 digit.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, okay. What were you saying?
I was on the right track.
Me too.
For that, I got 1100 as the volume, and then 580 or 1100 pi as the volume.
Did you do half a sphere?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do a comb with